Hello and welcome to Volva. My name is Andrea. I hope you've had a good few days. Here in Scotland, it's a bit rainy and a wee bit of respite from the garden, which is flourishing. So the reason for this video is to talk a wee bit more about an aspect of my services, and this is something that I shared as a part of a series of newsletters about birthing. So what the first part of newsletter was about the importance of timings of birthings of all kinds. And the second part is about shamanic midwifery, and that's what I'm going to talk about a wee bit today. So what is shamanic midwifery? Well, first of all, I have to state I'm not a medical midwife. It's not about that. For me, the shamanic midwifery is my work in working with mums and their babies in utero during pregnancy, is first of all the psychic conduit for communication between mum and baby in utero. But as well as that, it's really important to state it's about spiritual and soul support and safety during pregnancy. So that's my role in that process, that shamanic spiritual and soul support for and spiritual safety during pregnancy. It's really amazing, fascinating work. And it's been something that I've been doing for quite a few years now. And the psychic aspect of it, and I mean, everybody wants to know about psychic services, of course. I mean, it's really interesting, it's fascinating. And it is fascinating work. So I try to explain a wee bit more about it in my newsletter. But here, I think it's very important to be able to state that it's something that is actually really, it's about as part of a bigger intention, a bigger purpose. So one of the things about the services I offer in that way is first of all, it's about strengthening the communication, the intuitive communication between you and your baby during your pregnancy. Because the bond begins, you're already bonded physically, but it's about developing that emotional and spiritual bond before your baby even arrives in the world, before your baby's birthed. And that's so important to be able to get to know each other when you're both living in the same body for, 9 months. So strengthening that intuitive communication between you and your baby during pregnancy is absolutely essential. It's just such a beautiful bonding process. It really is. And the other aspect is about empowerment. So one of my clients actually, and you'll find it on my website, I'll put a link there, and for one of her stories and one of her testimonies about attending with me throughout her pregnancy, she found that the intuitive communication between her and her baby strengthened a lot over that time. But she also found a bit of a restoration of personal power. She felt more empowered during the process when attending, and she felt more empowered in order to advocate for herself and for her baby when she was attending in medical establishments, hospital appointments, consultants, the whole thing. And that is so crucial because during pregnancy, women are going through so many physical changes, but they also go through so many mental, emotional, and spiritual changes. It's a spiritual transformation as well. So that's at a time where women are actually quite vulnerable, emotionally vulnerable, because there's so much happening, changes all the time. And there are fears, there are natural fears. And this is something that we work through as well in my sessions. But to be able to successfully, powerfully, confidently advocate for yourself during pregnancy and the birth that you would want and the care that you would want is so important. Now, generally, medical establishments are looking at their own schedules. Babies don't necessarily, the babies don't have hospital schedules. So it's one of those things that it's really important for you to be able to feel confident enough to be able to advocate for yourself when you're attending hospital appointments, to get the care that you need and the birth that you would like. So shamanic midwifery is about holding that spiritual aspect of mum and baby together and to be able to foster that relationship as the pregnancy goes on. And like I say, it's so important even to establish that before birth. Lots of women have each individual unique experiences in their pregnancy. No two are the same. And this is where a bespoke service like this is so important, to be able to adapt and change to you growing, to your baby growing, to the changes happening within you, and finding out the best way of communication between the two of you. So sometimes that's very different for each individual woman and her baby. And it's such beautiful work. So it's something that I think is so important. And like I say, it's part of a bigger intention, a bigger purpose, because it's so powerful in being able to heal certain aspects associated with pregnancies, maybe from previous pregnancies or generational experiences, things like that. It's so important to be able to do whatever we can in that way to avoid any kind of childbirth trauma and any difficulties and challenges on the other side of the birth when the baby's here. So it's offsetting all these things and giving such wonderful spiritual support throughout pregnancy. So if this is something that you think be interested, pop along to the website and you'll be able to read more about Jen's story, my client's journey throughout shamanic midwifery.